welcome to another episode of Bum with the Wrench. I'm your host Daniel, and on today's episode we got something special. We're going to power tour. As you saw in the last episode, the car made it. I finished it up. A lot of monsters, but it's good enough, hopefully. We'll see if the transmission holds out. That's going to be the weak point. I am running extremely late this morning. I came in, changed the spark plugs, gave it a couple more degrees of timing. Seems to like that. I know one of the spark plugs was cracked, so I know I was battling that on the tune. So definitely needed new spark plugs. She's running a lot better. She's staying nice and cool. Although it smells like coolant, but I don't see anything leaking anywhere, so that's kind of odd. And when I checked this morning, there's a little puddle of coolant on the ground, but nothing's leaking, so I have no idea where that's coming from. But she's staying cool. I got a GoPro on the windshield, so I'm gonna bring you guys along for the ride. Let's get to it because I am beat and I need to get there. I'm running late. It's already 11 o'clock. And I think check-in is at 9. The gates open at 9. I think the drag strip opens at 11 or 10. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, we're running late. We need to get going. So let's get to it. All right, guys, day one went fantastic. Everything ran good. The car ran really good. I mean, it's not a race car. Is it running the best it possibly could now? Again, I didn't build this motor to be anything more than a motor that ran good. So I didn't take the time to put a lot of really good parts into it. They're all new parts, but they're not high end. It's not really that kind of a build. It was more of just like a clean rebuild. You know, I took a lot of time with micrometers and that kind of stuff to build it. And so that's why it does run good. It's just not a real high horsepower motor or anything. It's got a 428 cam in it, but that's the most it's got. So, but the car ran great. This morning I came in first thing after dropping my son off, and I changed spark plugs right off the bat because it was cold. I found number 7 was broken. So it was had two splits going down the sides of it, and it had dirt in the cracks. So I know it had been broken for a little bit, and that's probably where I was getting a lot of the chunky hesitation, just not running 100% like it should, especially under load. So now it's running really good. So I'm not getting it's not coughing, barking back or anything like that. It's doing really well now. The transmission seems to be doing a little bit better, especially when you manually shift it. It does pretty well. So, but I mean, if you drive it normal and you don't try and race it, you're just trying to drive it like you're driving to go somewhere, it's just fine. So I think going from here to Vegas and back, as long as I don't push on it, it'll be okay. Now I do apologize. I did want to put it on the track, but because of the transmission and the shape that it's in, I felt it better that I didn't, because I do want to just finish the tour, honestly. I want to get to Vegas and I want to get back. That's the main focus for this thing. I did talk to the officials and asked them, hey, do I lose anything for not going onto the track? Do I have to do the track? They said absolutely not. They said that you don't have to do anything. You don't lose anything for not going on the track. You don't gain anything for going on the track. The track's just there for fun. If you want to use the track, you can use the track. If you don't, you don't have to. So I'm like, oh man, that's great. Because I didn't want to, like, if there was something that they gave you, like a plaque or achievement or whatever it was, you know, I wanted to get the full effect of this whole power tour thing. But no, there's no, you don't get anything extra for going onto the track. So, except for just your little time slip and, you know, having fun doing it. So, so no big deal there. I thought it best that I don't, to save the transmission to make the entire tour, basically. So I'm really happy with the car. I got my buddy Jason going with me tomorrow. So I've got a GoPro set up in the windshield. We're gonna do some filming on the road. I'll have my handheld GoPro where we'll film some, you know, the line of cars and cars going by and that kind of stuff. This thing cruises really nice at 70, 75 miles an hour. So, you know, barring it don't overheat or the transmission blow up, I think it will be just fine. I mean, it'd be nice if it had air conditioning. Surprisingly, it was warm today. I mean, you are at a racetrack on a black top, you know, in the sun. So even on a nice cool day, it's still going to be pretty hot, and it was pretty warm out. So, but tomorrow when we leave for Vegas, I brought a couple chairs. I'm also gonna bring my Easy Up. I need to look around for some anchors for that Easy Up. Maybe I'll bring some car jacks or something to hold it down in case it gets windy out there. But yeah, that's about it. So I'm gonna bring an Easy Up, some chairs, kick back when we're up there in Vegas, because unlike today, you know, I left the event a little bit early. I think I left about 2 o'clock. It's a little after 3 now. I put some more stickers and stuff on the car just to have a little fun with it. I'm gonna do this sign off and then I'm going home. I'm about 15 minutes away. I'm about 10 minutes from the track. So it's easy for me. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna grab a bunch of sleep because we gotta be at the Irwindale Raceway at 7 a.m. is when everyone leaves. So my plan is to meet Jason here at the shop at 6. We'll be out the door at 6:30. That gives us time to load the car, check everything over, check the oil, check the trans, that kind of stuff, warm the car up, and then get it over there. I want to be there by about 6:30, kind of, you know, get the lay of the land, if you will, and then roll out with everyone. You know, that's part of the experience, is just, you know, that, that big caravan of cars. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that's the plan. I'll do a bunch of video tomorrow. I will definitely give you guys some more video of Vegas and Pomona. I was just super tired today. I am still super tired. My brain is just totally shut off. That's why I'm really kind of struggling to even get through this part, but I appreciate all of you guys sticking around this long and going on this adventure with me. And as always, you know, like and subscribe. That's not the end of this video. I think what I'm going to do is just make the power tour its own episode. So the next 3 days, this may be a very long video. We may be pushing into the 2-hour mark or something on this one, but you know, you can fast forward through a bunch of it. I've been using a lot of sped up speed, so I'll keep doing that, and I can speed it up in editing too, but I'll try and keep it down as much as I can. But I kind of want to make this whole thing one episode, so it'll probably be pretty long. But I'm real happy with the car. Everything's running good. I'm gonna go home and get some sleep, and I will see you guys first thing in the morning for the trip to Vegas. All right, guys, second day of the power tour. Day one was kind of fun. I apologize, guys. I was super tired. Getting this thing ready to go and getting it on the road took a lot out of me. So day one was still a lot of fun. Saw some, you know, drag racing, a lot of classic cars. Good event, a lot of good food, good people. So day one was awesome. Day two starts, we leave 7 a.m. To start going out to Vegas. So everybody gets here early over here at Irwindale, and then we all caravan out. So the way I understand it is there's like checkpoints, place you can stop, you don't have to, but we're gonna do the whole thing. So we're gonna take you guys along and have a good time. So stick around, and there's probably gonna be a lot of fast speed with some road stuff, but it's gonna be a good time. So. All right, guys, made it to Vegas. Easy trip. Car did real well. Ran about 80 the whole way. She's got the freeway flyers in her still from Grandma's garage. So 80 miles an hour. I don't have a tack, but if I had to guess, I'd say somewhere around $3 grand, 80 miles an hour. So definitely got long legs on this one. Car did really well. Little shaky. I think I need a drive shaft. I know both rear axles are bent. But I didn't have time to take the axles out of the 65 and get them back into the hardtop. So it needs axles, it needs a transmission, needs a drive shaft, and probably a full suspension workup. But she's not bad for just pulling it out of a old lady's garage and bringing it to power tour. I'm proud of her. She did real well. The exhaust donuts have definitely left the tour though. This thing has got a massive exhaust leak, so it's got to go back to the exhaust shop as soon as we get back and get them to fix that. I'm probably going to do some headers because the FE manifolds take a special flange. They go up into the manifold, and they're really, you can't really buy them. I'm sure I could track them down somewhere and source them, but most exhaust shops, they just custom make them. So that's what the guy did on this car. Custom made the flange, and they've leaked now twice. So it's gonna go back to the exhaust shop, but eventually I'm just gonna put headers on it and call it a day. But for now, that's really the only problem that I had with the car. She ran about 180 degrees on the temp and 60 pounds of pressure at 80 miles an hour and 25 at idle. So she's doing well. So it's pretty late in the day here. We sat around and watched some drag racing, had some good times, ate some food. So now I'm just gonna kind of walk the line a little bit, show you guys some of the stuff that made it here to Las Vegas. And then I'm gonna go home or go to the hotel and get some sleep. So we got to do it again in the morning. Hopefully the exhaust pipes don't just completely fall off the car because the nuts just keep backing themselves out. We stopped in Barstow and I tried to tighten the nuts up, but they're not locking nuts. They're just regular nuts from what I can tell. And they won't lock in. So no big deal there. Doesn't really need exhaust. It runs just fine. It just sounds horrible. So it is running a little bit fat up here. I was going to jet it down before we came, but didn't get a chance. Run out of time. So, but I didn't bring the jet kit with me, but that's okay. Don't need to jet it down. It's running a little fat, but that's all right. We'll get it back down into Pomona tomorrow. She'll run pretty good. We'll finish up the day with a major exhaust leak. So for now, thank you guys for watching. Let's go check out some of these cars. All right, guys, last day of the power tour. Out here, it's about 10 to 7. We're gonna skip going to Las Vegas drag strip this morning. The West Coast tour is not as strict as the East Coast. So what we noticed, at least in Irwindale, was that it was really kind of just you know, shotgun by the seat of your pants. There was no real person out there, you know, like, oh, hey, thanks guys for showing up. Like this, there's no organization to it really at all. It was just everyone showed up, and then at some point, like, everyone just started driving away. And so I don't really see a purpose to go over there and line up. I mean, we've already seen all the cars, and it's cold. It is so cold this morning. I don't know how cold it is because, well, I'm in a 65 Galaxie without any electronics. So, I mean, I guess I could look it up on my phone, but, you know, hey, it's cold. So, got the car warming up. Exhaust Donuts have left the tour. They left the tour about an hour into the tour, but that's okay. If you know FE Motors, you know that they have problems with the, well, they don't have problems. They have Ford invented this special exhaust flange that you can't buy because nobody makes it, because who cares kind of thing. And so these exhaust shops, they custom make them. And honestly, I don't know if that's the real problem with this one. I think it's more of it's the wrong nut actually on the flange. It should be like that little kink down nut that just is hard to go on. I can't remember right now what they're called because it's super cold. But so I'm thinking it's got the wrong style nut on it, but it doesn't matter. I'm done with these. This is the second time it's happened to me. So my plan is just go with headers. So went on to Summit this morning, found some shorty headers, about 500 bucks. I'm gonna pick those up, run it over to the exhaust shop next week sometime, and have them put a set of headers on it. Never have a problem again. So they'll have normal flanges on it. Other than that, this thing sounds great. I love the exhaust on this car. It really sounds great. Like that first hour into the tour, it was so nice. Me and my buddy Jason were just sitting there talking in the car, but yet you get outside and the car's nice and rumbly and it's got a good sound to it. So right now it's a full race car. So, but that's okay. There's really nothing wrong with it. You know, it might suffer a little bit of valve damage with the cold air rushing back in, but you know, if it does, it does. Whatever. I'll put a set of Edelbrock heads on it or something. But anyways, it's cold, so we're gonna get going. I may do some video as we come into LA or something like that, and then next time you see me, we'll be in Pomona. All right, guys, see you there. All right, guys, made it to Pomona. Super tired. Calling that trip. We got our plaques. They're actually pretty cool. Not bad. Made it the whole trip. So, the car did good for just having a motor and some brakes. After sitting for like 20 years. So, not a bad deal, I'd say. the car show, the event, the drag racing, it's all pretty much the same at all 3 events. So I am super tired. I had last week every night at till 2 a.m. and then that Thursday night at 3 a.m. getting the car ready. So I'm done. I'm calling this trip a success and going home. And now I gotta work on some exhaust. So I think what I'm gonna do is get a set of headers and just ditch the manifolds, and that'll solve the flange issue. That's the second time the flanges have blown out, and I'm done messing with them. So I'm gonna go headers. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like always, like and subscribe, and tell a friend. All right, until next time. All right, guys, I know I did an official sign off with you at the end of the, I guess that was Pomona. But I wanted to take a second and just kind of give you a little explanation on the video and you know, basically the lack of video. So for some reason in Vegas, when I did a bunch of recording there, the camera must have not have been on the right setting, because I didn't get anything out of that. And I'm not really sure what happened there. I remember I handed the camera off to my buddy Jason, and he was doing some filming too, and he said, man, it didn't look like it was recording, and it just wasn't. So I lost a lot of video there. But the main thing is that when we got back to Pomona after the big road trip, I was feeling horrible. Honestly, a massive headache, kind of felt sick. Pretty sure I got some carbon monoxide poisoning from the blown out headers. I mean, so the little donut, the header itself bolted to the head is fine, and then it goes immediately into like this little donut seal that goes down into the pipe. That donut seal gone. Couple of the nuts that actually hold the flange that put pressure on that donut seal are completely gone. So with the exhaust dumping out, you know, right here on the car, and then, you know, windows and stuff open to try and get as much of that air out, I ended up sucking down a lot of fumes. It was hard just to kind of, you know, finish everything up. So I talked to my buddy Jason. He seemed okay, which is good. So definitely don't want to get anybody sick off of carbon monoxide poisoning. But you know, felt okay the next day. Took a couple days. Now it's Wednesday after the tour, and finally today I feel quite a bit better. So it took a bit out of me. I think you know, straining myself for an entire week till 2, 3 in the morning, and then, you know, waking up early, doing the trip, doing all the filming, doing all the driving, that kind of stuff. It was a pretty big toll. So, but I'll tell you what, I had a great time. So I know I was talking there toward the end when I was in Vegas, talking about the West Coast Power Tour not being as organized as the East Coast. And with that being true and everything else, it's still a ton of fun. So I'm hoping that maybe, you know, Hot Rod, they do something a little bit more with the West Coast Power Tour. I know they stopped doing it there for a while. The turnout, I think, was pretty good. I don't think it was that bad. There were a lot of people having a lot of fun. You know, everyone was being safe. I didn't see anybody doing any burnouts or anything coming out of the speedways or anything stupid like that. So it looked like everybody was just, you know, staying safe and having a good time, which is awesome. I mean, honestly, that's what you want. So great time, honestly. And $10 to get in. I mean, in this day and age, where can you go, you know, have some fun for $10? You know, that's just is unheard of, really. So they kept the price cheap for the general admission. I think for me to go on the long hauler, I think was $200, which is still not that big of a price. But you know, I had a great time. I encourage anybody. You saw the cars there as I was doing some of the walkthroughs and stuff. They're not all show cars and pristine cars and perfect cars and all that kind of stuff. It's just whatever you got, whatever you want to bring. Kind of reminded me a lot of the duct tape drags, actually. It's just a good time. It's everybody getting together, looking at everybody else's stuff. Gigantic car show and a cannonball style, run to the next place kind of thing. Great time. Honestly, the most fun that I had was the driving part. It really kind of took me back to when I was in high school. When I was in high school, my very first car was a 1966 Plymouth Barracuda. My dad gave it to me, no motor, no trans. And I went to auto shop, and there was a old Dodge Dart in there, and I bought the motor and trans off the auto shop teacher. It ran on like 3 cylinders of the 6 that it had. It was a 225. So I took it apart, put it back together, put it in the car, and it was kind of like this, where it ran good. You could drive it pretty much anywhere, but the thing was just a mess everywhere else. It rattled, it really kind of took me back. Made me feel like I was in high school again, a good time. You drive around these modern cars. I got a 2023 or 2022, whatever it is, Jeep Grand Wagoneer, all leathered out and, all this fancy crap around you. And kind of lose that connection with, this type of stuff. So, I've got quite a few of these cars around in here, but honestly, you don't drive these to Vegas or anything else like that. You should drive them to Vegas. The owner actually told me to take the red car, but if I would have had the gaskets, I would have probably taken it. It would have been a fun car. But this car did great. I had such an awesome time. Like I said, it really took me back to the days of high school. So she ran great. I'm really happy with it. It needs a lot of work. It's going to just continue to get work. That's the way it goes with these cars. That's project cars. You guys know, you probably have one sitting in your driveway. So it turned out great. The car did fantastic. It's no different now, today, than when I started. Nothing else really broke other than the exhaust. Nothing else really broke or changed in any way. So it made it the whole trip, doing 80 most of the trip, honestly. When I had that little part in there showing you the speed, I kind of backed it off, because I don't want to get in trouble for speeding or nothing. So, it's so I backed it off. But honestly, most of the whole trip we were doing 80 miles an hour, and it was cruising along just fine. So she has 300 gears in her, one legger, That's really all you need. She was probably turning about $3,000. So at 80 miles an hour, that'd be my guess. No tack though. I kind of wish I would have put a tack in it so I could have seen what it was turning. But in that the second video, third video, when I was putting this thing together, I put like a little thing in there like, oh, stay tuned to hear what's going to happen. So this is my plan. My plan is to take the engine, because the transmission's garbage, take the engine out of this car, and I'm going to put that into my 65 convertible. So that'll give me basically a brand new engine in my 65 convertible that I'm going to do a budget-friendly restoration and then eventually sell. So that'll give me the engine. I just took the front brakes off of it, so I have front brakes for it. The rest of the car, needs work. I'll do floor pans and fix the convertible top, put interior in it, paint it, that kind of stuff. It really doesn't need too much on that car before it's just good. So I'll do ball joints, bushings, paint the frame, paint the suspension components, all that kind of stuff. Make it look nice, but again, budget friendly. So in the thought pattern of budget friendly, this motor runs perfect. So it's painted the right color scheme. It has the right manifold on it. It's got a Holley 4-barrel that I'm not going to sell. I'm not getting rid of that. I'll put a 4100 Fomoco back on it. But and take the MSD out and put the stock distributor back in it, because I'm not just giving away cool stuff for no reason. So that motor is going to go into that car. Now I know the big question in your mind, Daniel, what are you going to put in? What's a bum going to put in the 65 Galaxie? Well, I'm probably going to make some of you pass out right now. And, it's okay. What I have And what this car is it's a retro mod. It's something that I'm constantly going to be improving on, constantly going to be changing over the years. It's constantly going to morph into different things and do different things. So now that I got this motor proven and good, it'll go into the convertible. I have a ZZ430 sitting there in the back, and I know, all you guys are like, damn, but what? That's a ZZ4, that's a Chevy small block. Yep, it is a Chevy small block. It's a small block 350. Built by Chevy Performance. You can buy them online. However, we do believe that one is actually a clone, because the ZZ430s, when you bought them, they were all serial numbered, and the serial number was etched into the valve cover. There's no serial number on that one, but everything we can see points to someone just built a ZZ430. Now, I don't know if GM Performance did, or someone after that just ordered up all the parts for a ZZ430 and built one, because I know you can go online and you can buy the valve covers. So not really sure what's inside of it, but I'm going to find out, because number 6 cylinder, if I remember correctly, 6 or 7, one of those cylinders over there, is got a crack across the valve release on the piston. Now, when we stuck a camera in there, that motor looked fantastic. You still saw the crosshatch in the cylinder walls and all of that. So my plan with it is to throw it up on the engine hoist or on the engine stand and tear it down. Take a look at all the bearings, the crank, go through everything, and I'm going to take a look and see what it's got. What heads does it have? What cranks, what crank does it have? Is it a 4-bolt main or is it a 2-bolt main? I'm 90% sure it's a 4, but we'll see. 4-bolt, good crank. I'd like a forged crank, and then forged rods, nice pistons, big cam, nice flowing heads, good manifold. Basically, I want high compression, good running small block is what I want. So I probably won't have to put too many parts into it to really get that snappy, high compression motor that I'm looking for. And as far as putting it into this, not hard at all. So they make a front sump oil pump for it. Oh, that's all I need to put it in there. The rest is just making the motor mounts fit. So I might have to fab up my own motor mounts, or the bracket that goes onto one side or the other to make it connect. But whatever, I can make motor mounts. It's not that hard. So, and then as far as transmission goes, this thing needs a transmission anyways. So if I got to buy a transmission, turbo 400, turbo 350, if I want to have a little bit of freeway drivability out of it, maybe a 700 R4, because I'm going to redo the rear end. So it's going to get a third member with some good gears in it, and some axles. I need to check the housing to make sure the housing's straight. That's one of the things my buddy said. He's like, hey, you better check the housing if the axles are bent. Maybe the housing's bent. It's true. Big, thick housing, I doubt it's bent, but you still check it. So I'll check the housing, make sure the housing's nice and straight, then put a third member in it, some axles in it, rear end's done. Transmission, turbo 350, turbo 400, 700 R4, a nice, snappy, small block 350. This thing will be fun. It really will be a good time. Again, this is a retro mod car. It doesn't have to keep the Ford motor. I could put a Chrysler engine in it. I could put anything I want in it. That's the beauty of these retro mod cars. Is it unique? No, not in any way. But it'll be fun and cool and cheap. Remember, I work in this awesome building around all these awesome cars, but I don't have that kind of awesome money. So I got to do things more on the normal guy levels, So that means I got a nice small block sitting back there. I can put a little bit of money into that, pop it into the car, have a great time. Later down the road, I still want to build a nice 427 small block twin turbo, beast for this thing. It'll get it someday. But I mean, what we're talking about, twin turbo small block 427 built off a 351, you're talking 20 grand, easy. That's for the motor. That's not even the manifolds, the turbos, you're just talking motor at that point. because I'm going to do big boost. So, that's expensive parts. So I want to have some fun with the car. Plus, I need a good motor for my budget restoration. There you go. This motor cost me $5,000 maybe. So that'll go into that car. And then if I want to keep a 352 around, I have another one coming out of that car. Not going to keep it around though. I'm going to put it up on eBay for $500 or something. Let somebody else deal with it. Because these FEs, I'm not impressed. Not very fun. They're okay if you just want a car that's going to run down the road. Great, they're fine. Nothing wrong with them. But I like power. As does most people. So now when you're talking 7 liters, 428, that's what they came with. These are collector cars. You can't be just screwing around putting whatever you want in it. So my yellow 7 liter, that's gonna get a 428. Has to. So. There's times when you do that and times when you don't. But anyways, what I'm saying is it's going to be a good time. It'll make this car an absolute blast for future events, future, driving, that kind of stuff. Now I'm still going to go through it. I got to do suspension. I got to do, like I said, the rear end. Really, when I get the rolling chassis on this car really tightened up, that's going to really change this thing altogether. And then from there, it's just playing around with the body and doing interior stuff and that. But for me, the starting point's always the rolling chassis. Once that's nailed down just solid, then the rest of it's just a good time. So that's my plan. That's what's going to happen with this car going in the future. However, it's not going to happen for a little bit because right now I've got a lot of stuff I'm dealing with as far as the business goes. Remember, this is my job. I don't get to just play with my own cars all day. So I got a lot of stuff going on that I need to work out with the business. We have Christmas. Right now it's Wednesday. Christmas is what, Monday or something like that. I've been so busy. Christmas just snuck up on me. It would have dang near passed me up if my wife wouldn't have been like, "Hey, when are we going to Utah?" So Christmas is Monday. So Sunday we leave for southern Utah. Monday, Christmas, we're in Utah. Tuesday we come back. Wednesday, I got to get on an airplane to go deal with some work stuff. So, and I won't be back from that until after the first of the year. So, unfortunately, these pile of videos that I just threw in your lap in the last couple days, that's going to be it before the New Year's. So I wanted to take this time, kind of explain what happened at the racetrack and why the videos were kind of not as involved as I really wanted them to be. I wanted to show more of the drag racing and the booths and the food. Food's always a good thing to show. So, but I was hammered. I wasn't feeling very good by the time I got to Pomona. I literally just wanted to pass out. I couldn't get back to the shop fast enough to go home and just crash out. I remember crashing out and then waking up to my son throwing toys across the room. So, that's just the way it goes sometimes. But I'm very happy I was able to make the event. I had an awesome time. And then lastly, Merry Christmas, you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. This has been a great year. I hope it's been a great year for you as well. Moving forward, as far as Bum with a Wrench goes, I have lots of big plans, stickers and that kind of stuff I want to roll out. I've been talking about an intro video. I need to do that. I still need to learn how to do the thumbnails, that kind of stuff, and clickable items at the end of the video. I'm just learning, There's no one teaching me. I'm just learning. So anyways, Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. And I hope during these holidays, you guys are safe. And I see you at the beginning of 2024. All right, guys. I'll see you then.